what they've been doing while you've been broken up for the last year.
The dangers of having sex with your ex.
That's a gift that keeps on giving in a bad way.
A recent study shows that more and more young people are having sex with their ex. But be careful. Some research suggests that you might want to think twice about getting down after you break up.
Today we're covering all the surprising health problems you could have picked up from your ex, and here to help us with our next topic is relationship expert and author of the 30-Day Love Detox, Dr. Wendy Walsh.
Hello.
And also back with us is sex expert Dr. Rachel Ross. Wendy, so good to have you back.
Thank you. I'm always happy to be here.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. Thanks.
Seems like your book is somewhat appropriate for what we're discussing today.
Oh yeah, the book is about the high supply sexual economy and how hard it is for women to get a guy to really make a commitment, because why should he buy the cow when he can text in a herd any night of the week?
That's right.
So it's a prescription for slow love and very clear path that women need to take, because there are men out there who, believe it or not, still want to get married and make a commitment and have a healthy family. But how to find those men and where they are, that's all in the 30-Day Love Detox.
Are people, that study mentioned people are having sex with their exes, is part of that the desire we mentioned earlier in the show to hold on to something, that it's a known entity? Because this is happening, right?
Funny you should ask. Yes, I think that always one person is hoping to rekindle it. That's what happens with the sex with the ex.
And also, like you were talking about earlier, does it have something to do with rejection? You may have a low self-esteem, and instead of putting yourself, you have to be brave to put yourself out there.
It almost can create an attachment disorder. In other words, we put our sex in one compartment, our emotional relationship on the computer with somebody else, and our intellectual relationship with our girlfriends. And that's not healthy. We want to try to pull it together to have healthy intimacy.
So then your book, you teach people how to detox from a broken
heart?
Yeah,
it's basically a sex detox more than anything. It's based on a study that shows that if you have sex within 30 days of meeting somebody, you have a 90% chance of being broken up within a year.
90%?
If you wait only 31 to 90 days, you have a 1 in 4 chance you'll be together a year later. Because the skills you need to have a short-term relationship are very different.
You have a 90% chance of breaking up with someone if you have sex with them in the first 30 days?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
To my wife, honey, we beat the odds.
Of somebody who fell in love through sex, but the truth is a lot of women believe that a hookup is a stepping stone to a relationship. No man believes that. No.
Yeah. And it's also a stepping stone to an STD.
Exactly.
Because who knows what they've been doing while you've been broken up for the last year.
Because if you were exclusive, you'd be together. So the very fact that it's an ex means that you're not sexually exclusive.
As a gynecologist, I see those STDs that, women get. And when you think about HPV virus, which is the most common, and that can cause genital warts, and those are like, you can have something very small, it looks like a skin tag, or you can have a whole cauliflower garden. And there's nothing worse than breaking up, but also breaking up with and leaving you a gift. And that's not that you then have to explain to another partner. And then herpes. Herpes is very, very transmittable because you don't, again, it's another virus you don't see. You may not have any symptoms of it. And that's, again, something you live with and something
that's
you have
a
to
gift that keeps on giving in a bad way.
Yeah.
And a gift that is invisible often to the naked eye. And that actually leads us to our next question, which is from Kendra in Denver, Colorado, who wrote us an email. Hi, doctors. I contracted genital herpes while I was in an 8-year relationship. Since we both had it, it didn't bother me too much. Now I feel like I can't get into another relationship with this looming over me. Any suggestions?
Well, as I like to say, if you can't talk about sex and health, you have no business exposing your bloodstream to somebody. So the talking about it is going to happen, and it's going to happen in time. It's also not something you necessarily want to bring up on a first date, because you don't know, just like you don't want to have sex on a first date.
Well, it gets back to your 30-day rule in some ways. You don't have to have that conversation in the first month.
Right.
If you're moving in the direction of hanky-panky, you might want to talk about it.
You really want to delay it till you trust the person, because really, if you tell somebody you have herpes, who are they going to tell other than every person that they know? So if you don't wait until you guys are have some type of relationship where they actually care about you, they're just going to broadcast your business across the United States of America.
I think it's important to mention that it's okay to ask.
Yes.
True.
That I mean, that's your obligation. That we need to to eliminate that taboo in today's world, you should be able to ask.
Yes, have you
your
ever
partner.
had an STD, or do you have one currently?
But everyone thinks, and this is maybe the most common myth, everyone thinks it's always obvious. And you can be carrying around chlamydia, gonorrhea, and have no symptoms, and you don't even know you have it until your partner starts experiencing the symptoms.
And remember, chlamydia and gonorrhea for women is going to cause fertility problems in the future, and also pain, because it can cause pelvic inflammatory disease. So even though that's one that we can cure, you want to make sure you know it, because we can cure it. It's, you know, they're bacterial infections, but if they stay in there and you don't know it, they can cause you fertility problems in the future.
Sure, and a lot of women, I think, date men that they know are kind of seeing other people or kind of out there. And you have to keep in mind that if he's out there having sex with other women and then he brings it back to you, every person that he dips himself into, he's dipping it back inside of you.
But
you know, like that's a lot of infection that you could be
But you
experiencing.
know what we're talking about
sharing.
here is we're talking about the evolution of these low criteria relationships that women in particular are putting their health and their fertility at risk and signing up for what I call these low criteria relationships. And the 30-day Love Detox is also about purging those, like getting rid of all the sort of maybe sometime
meaning
low criteria meaning we
just
have dinner and
don't-
sex.
Yeah.
You might
and
wanna-
sex in between.
And I
So you
cooked
might
the
wanna-
dinner for the person
Right.
that I had sex with. Low criteria.
I just know that, Rachel, you've ruined the word dipping. For the rest of my life, and I hear the word, oh, do you want to take a dip? You dip it in there, and be safe out there is ultimately what it comes down to.
Right.
Wendy, so good to have you back.
Oh, it's
Really
a pleasure.
Good information.
And coming up, is your biological clock ticking? We have valuable tips on how to get pregnant after the age of 40, plus why your hair loss may have something to do with the loss of your boyfriend. We'll explain next.